ready for a deep dive. This time we're tackling this big question. Should we be like laser focused on colonizing Mars, as humanity's big backup plan? Or are we maybe neglecting a pretty important mission right here on Earth?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, our source material is this like lively discussion, and it's called Space is Cool, but Earth is Dying. It just jumps right into this whole dilemma.
What's really interesting is it's not just like, a fringe environmentalist viewpoint. Even some real space enthusiasts are starting to kind of question our priorities here.
Yeah, exactly. So let's unpack some of these arguments, look at all the crazy costs, and maybe even uncover a few surprises along the way that might change how you think about the future of Earth and space exploration. First up, I gotta say, that irresistible allure of space, like the mystery, the tech advancements, the sheer coolness of pushing boundaries, it's pretty captivating.
Definitely. But we also have to face reality. Colonizing space, particularly Mars, comes with a hefty price tag. And that's not even considering the harsh conditions on Mars or the tech hurdles we haven't even figured out yet.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so get this. The source lays out some pretty eye-opening numbers. NASA's budget for 2024, $25 billion, but $0 allocated to fixing the very planet that funds them. We're talking trillions poured into space exploration, and get this. Climate disasters are projected to cost like $4.9 trillion by 2050.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And by 2050, climate change could displace 100 million people. And then there's that Mars colony, which, it could cost over $1 trillion. It's still a distant dream. The source actually compares it to trying to grow avocado in a toaster oven.
Oh, okay.
Not really the best way to make guacamole.
I see where they're going with that, but here's where my mind is blown. We could actually transition the entire U.S. to renewable energy for about $300 billion. And get this, cleaning up the oceans, only $30 billion.
Right, yeah.
Suddenly, those figures make you think twice about our priorities.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if we're just choosing escapism over practical solutions. The source also brings up this thought-provoking point about space travel being exclusive. Right now, it's like the Bezoses and Musks and Bransons of the world leading the charge. It's not really a trip your average person can take.
Totally. And what about all the interconnected systems on Earth? We're losing biodiversity at a crazy rate. Over 1 million species are at risk. There's no spaceship that can fix a problem like that.
It's ironic, isn't it? We're using Earth's resources to build spacecraft so we can, leave Earth. Seems like we're in a bit of a self-defeating cycle here.
Right, almost like burning down your house to stay warm. So where do we go from here? The source doesn't just highlight the problems. They explore some possible solutions, and some of them are pretty unexpected.
This is where it gets really interesting. Would you believe that trends like plant-based diets and thrifting, a lot of it fueled by social media influencers, are actually playing a big role in driving some positive changes?
That's actually pretty cool. So individual actions really do matter. But I'm guessing there are also, bigger changes needed, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
The source lays out some possibilities, like a global carbon tax, which could potentially cut emissions by 60% by 2030. And, Canada's already banned single-use plastics.
Yeah, right.
It's not impossible.
Right.
It just takes collective action.
Definitely. And then there's this concept of Earth shots. Massive funding initiatives focused on things like renewable energy, reforestation, even atmospheric cleanup technologies. Imagine what we could achieve if we just channeled our resources towards healing our planet instead of escaping it.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that space technology itself can actually help Earth. We already use satellites to monitor deforestation and things like that, right?
Wow.
We track ocean temperatures. We can even predict natural disasters.
Yeah.
Think about what we could achieve if we doubled down on those efforts.
Okay, now that's a game changer. So while, sending humans to Mars might be a distant goal, there's a lot we can do right now to protect Earth. And that's where you, our listener, comes in. Even small changes can have a big impact.
Absolutely. What's one small change that stands out to you, something you could easily implement in your own life?
For me, it's probably reducing my reliance on fast fashion. The textile industry has a surprisingly big impact on global emissions.
That's a great one. And you don't have to overhaul your whole wardrobe to make a difference.
Exactly. And then there's something as simple as composting food waste.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps methane out of landfills and creates nutrient-rich soil for gardening.
Oh, and don't forget about switching to LED light bulbs.
Oh, right.
Not only does it save energy, but it also shrinks your electric bill.
Yeah, win-win. These are just a few examples, but they show how collective action can add up to real change. Even if we never set foot on Mars, creating a sustainable future for Earth is, well, it's a mission worth fighting for.
I couldn't agree more. It's about realizing that Earth isn't just our home. It's our only home.
And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our deep dive. We've explored the allure of space, the challenges facing Earth, and some potential solutions that are actually within our reach. In part 2, we'll go deeper, and we'll be exploring the ethical and philosophical implications of space colonization versus Earth repair. We'll also look at whether our fascination with space is actually distracting us from preserving our own planet. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're continuing to explore this whole space exploration versus Earth repair thing.
We sure are. In part 1, we looked at the appeal of space and, the kind of tough reality facing Earth and some potential solutions.
Right. Now let's think about the ethical and philosophical side of this whole debate.
Okay, yeah. So, for example, is it really ethical to be pouring tons of resources into, colonizing space when we have millions of people right here on Earth who are struggling, with poverty, hunger, and just lack of access to basic necessities?
It's a complicated question with no easy answers. Some people would argue that advancements in space technology, well, they often lead to inventions that benefit everybody, right?
Right.
Like satellite communication, GPS, medical imaging.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then there's also the argument that, focusing on Earth's problems should be our number one priority.
Right.
We do have a moral obligation to care for the planet and all its inhabitants.
Yeah, definitely. And our source really emphasizes this interconnectedness of all of Earth's systems and, the potential fallout if we ignore them. Like the loss of biodiversity, for example. That has wide-ranging impacts, on food security, on our health, the stability of entire ecosystems.
Like a domino effect, right? Right.
You can't just pack up and move to Mars when things go south. Which brings us to another big question: is our fascination with space, is it actually distracting us from the really urgent task of preserving our planet?
It's almost like we're fiddling while Rome burns, captivated by these new frontiers while our current home is crumbling around us.
Right. The source uses this phrase, interstellar dress-up.
Oh, wow.
To suggest that we might be more focused on the fantasy of space colonization than the kind of gritty reality of fixing what's broken down here.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder if we're just seeking an escape
Right.
rather than solutions. I mean, are we so overwhelmed by the scale of the problems that we'd rather just dream of starting over on a different planet?
It does make you wonder if it's a form of denial, pretending that we can just jump ship when things get tough.
Right.
This kind of leads into another piece of this, the whole concept of sustainability. Can we really create a sustainable future on Mars, a planet with limited resources and a pretty hostile environment?
The source doesn't shy away from those challenges at all.
No.
They talk about everything from toxic Martian dust to radiation to the difficulties of even growing food.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not a welcoming environment.
And we can't forget about the ethical questions around terraforming another planet.
Right.
I mean, do we even have the right to fundamentally change another celestial body just to suit our needs, especially when we haven't even figured out how to live sustainably, on our own planet?
It's we haven't learned from our mistakes here, and we're already eager to repeat them on a brand new canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Terraforming, by the way, is the idea of transforming a planet to make it make it more Earth-like, including potentially changing its atmosphere
Okay.
and its temperature and ecology.
So basically, playing planetary engineer.
Exactly.
Okay.
But getting back to the ethics of all this, it's so important that we approach space exploration with, a sense of responsibility and humility.
Right.
Earth is our only home, at least for now, and our actions today really have, ripple effects not just for us but for generations to come.
It's like inheriting a beautiful old mansion, You wouldn't just trash the place. You
Right.
want to take care of it and, make sure it lasts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our source emphasizes this idea of, shifting our mindset from consumption to stewardship.
Yeah.
It's about viewing Earth not as a resource to be exploited, but as this, precious and fragile ecosystem that needs our protection.
So instead of thinking, what can we get from Earth, we should be asking, how can we give back?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, even though we're deep in this Earth versus space debate, our source does point out that space technology can actually contribute to Earth's well-being. Like satellites, for instance, play a huge role in monitoring climate change,
Right.
tracking deforestation, predicting natural disasters.
Imagine if we redirected some of that space exploration budget towards those Earth-focused technologies.
Yeah, I mean, we can make some serious progress in tackling climate change, protecting biodiversity, creating a more sustainable future for everybody.
That's the power of innovation and collaboration, right?
Right.
Using our collective brain power and resources to solve the biggest challenges facing our planet.
Exactly. It's not about choosing between exploring space or saving Earth. It's about finding that sweet spot. That synergy between our cosmic aspirations and our responsibilities here at home.
Our source sums it up perfectly. Earth isn't plan A or plan B. It's our only plan.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that, we're all interconnected, and our fate is really linked to the fate of our planet.
And that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive. We've talked about the ethics and the philosophy behind space exploration versus Earth repair.
Yeah.
And we challenge this idea that, that they have to be mutually exclusive goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
In part 3, we'll explore the psychology and the cultural factors behind this fascination with space. We'll also look at how we can use that fascination as a force for positive change right here on Earth.
Right here, right now.
Stay tuned for the final part of our exploration into this complex and thought-provoking topic.
Welcome back. It's the final part of our deep dive into this space exploration versus Earth repair debate. It's been quite a journey. Yeah, we've covered a lot, from the allure of space and the harsh realities here on Earth to the ethics and the philosophical questions this whole dilemma raises.
Right. So now let's shift gears a little and explore the psychology and cultural factors behind our fascination with the cosmos. Why are we so drawn to the stars even when our planet is facing all these unprecedented challenges? It's kind of a paradox, isn't it?
It's a question that's fascinated people for centuries. Some argue it's this innate human desire to explore, to push beyond the known, like an unquenchable thirst for discovery.
Yeah.
We're always trying to unravel the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I think it also ties into this need to connect with something bigger than ourselves,
Yeah.
Something that kind of transcends our everyday worries.
Right, absolutely. And then there's pop culture, which plays a huge role, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. From Star Wars to Star Trek, we're constantly bombarded with these images of heroic astronauts venturing into the unknown.
It's true. Those narratives tap into our desire for adventure, heroism, and the possibility of finding new worlds and new civilizations. It's a pretty compelling story.
Yeah, but it's important to remember that those portrayals often, they romanticize space exploration a little bit.
Right.
They don't always show the real dangers and challenges that come with venturing beyond Earth.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy and forget that space is actually a pretty harsh and unforgiving environment.
Exactly. So this leads to a really crucial question. How can we, channel this fascination with space into something good for Earth?
Yeah.
How do we take that sense of wonder and apply it to solving the problems we've got right here in front of us?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. Our source says we need a kind of a perspective shift. Instead of viewing Earth as just a stepping stone to other worlds, we need to start seeing it as our only home.
Right.
Like really the only one we've got.
That's a great way to put it. It's about recognizing that that balance that sustains life on our planet, and understanding that everything is everything is interconnected.
I really like this analogy the source uses. They compare Earth to like a magnificent mansion that we've inherited, and instead of treating it like a rental property that we can just trash and then leave, we need to start acting like responsible owners.
Right.
We need to take care of it and make sure it lasts.
It's it's a powerful analogy. It highlights that shift from consumption to stewardship.
Right.
We need to realize that our actions have consequences, not just for us, but for future generations.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about big picture thinking, but let's get practical for a minute. What are some things that we can actually do to bridge this gap between dreaming about the stars and actually taking care of Earth?
Well, for starters, we can actively support those initiatives that use space technology to help Earth. I mean, think about it. Satellites are already being used to monitor climate change, to track deforestation, to predict natural disasters.
Yeah.
The potential is huge.
It's about harnessing, the power of innovation for the greater good. If we can develop groundbreaking technology to explore space, then we can use that same ingenuity to solve the problems facing our own planet.
Right.
Absolutely.
We can also, push for more funding for Earth-focused research.
Yeah.
Things like renewable energy technology, sustainable agriculture, that sort of thing.
Right. Prioritizing those solutions that get to the root of the problem.
Right. And maybe most importantly, we can each, make conscious choices to reduce our own impact on the environment.
Right.
Simple things like cutting back on consumption or supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability.
You're right. Individual actions, when you multiply them by millions, can create a real ripple effect. Every little bit counts.
Exactly. And to wrap up, I want to share this great line from the source material. Space is cool, but fixing Earth, that's the ultimate flex.
Oh, I love that. It's a good reminder that real progress isn't about conquering other worlds. It's about creating a sustainable future right here on Earth for everyone.
It's about realizing that our legacy as a species won't be how far we go into space, but how well we care for our home planet.
Well said. So to wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with one final thought-provoking question. If we can dream of reaching for the stars, why can't we also dream of a future where humanity and nature thrive right here on Earth?
It's time to choose wisely.
This has been the Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.